Hi, YouTube. I hope you're all doing good. I'm doing okay. I had a bit of a upsetting morning, not for myself personally, but I mean, I've just recognized that a lot of men out on this planet um, want a woman in their life, but they don't want to treat her with the dignity that she deserves. Um, Not just like in a close relationship, but like really all over the planet, that men are not defending women, for whatever reasons. Maybe they don't think that they're deserving of it or it doesn't occur to them. I'm not quite sure why, but it's too much of it going on in the world as far as I'm concerned, you know. For instance, I know somebody that's dating a lady for a couple years now, and he pretends that it's not serious. Although, when a woman invites a man into her life, she expects some moral guidance as far as concern for her feelings and empathy and openness and all these things that it's slowly going by the wayside. You know, what is humanity, you know, like the acceptance of liars, the acceptance of um, immoral actions, and just then if you have family that are involved, um, and that my number one recommendation for anybody, if you're dating somebody or involved with somebody in a close relationship, a man and a woman, keep your family out of it. If you can't do that for the sake of your own relationship first, that comes first. If especially out of a man, if you're dating a woman and you're not considering that woman's feelings first, well, you don't want to know what I'd want to do to you. Yeah, to even look at a woman the wrong way to me is a major crime. That's or a child or whatever these people do, men and women, whatever. Yeah, it is to me, and I'm offended by it all. You know, I am. I know certain situations that would not be like it wouldn't be a big deal in somebody else's life, but it'd be a big deal to me, you know, and I would definitely rectify the situation if I were in proximity of said bullshit, you know. So, anyway, yeah. And I do know a whole group of women that turned gay. It doesn't matter where or who or whatever, because they weren't treated right by the men in their lives. Really, this is God's honest truth. You know, it was a little weird. I thought, what is this? Some kind of freaking epidemic on the planet? And this was, 1986 or thereabouts. I recognized something really major in the world happening between men and women, that women were not being protected like they should be, and had to form relationships, didn't have to, not sexually, but had to form relationships with each other because it was void out of the masculinity that should have been displayed in a lot of those areas, especially the women that had families and were married to these men that were not doing the right thing, and a lot of them that still aren't. And men dating women, I hope the hell you're doing it right. If you're young enough, and like especially if it's like first type of things, it's not old fashioned to go and ask her parents for a date with their daughter, you know. It's not. I mean, the things that used to be like courting and what these were protections that were in place to protect that girl, that young lady from men that would mean to do her harm. And her family was able to have some kind of control over the situation with the threat in the back of the mind of that young man the whole time that, geez, if I do something, her dad's going to take my head off, that type of thing. So, um, there's a lot lacking in this world in those areas. It really is. And I got a little, oh, actually, what I feel like is driving to where this said person is that's not treating somebody I love right and acting like the parent that the woman that I love, acting like the parent she needs in her life to combat. I mean, when you fall in love with somebody and they're not doing things right, that's heartbreaking. And that makes me angry at the man. And yeah, it does. And I hope you show him this video. Because, Bucko, you're not treating my girl right. And I really disrespect you and I dislike you for those reasons. Yeah, you better stand up for her right and now and do things right. You don't want me coming out there. So anyway, whether you take any uh, credence in that whatsoever, that's up to you. But you do not know when I might show up. I'm kind of, what's the word? Well, for one thing, I have a vagabond spirit and I'm kind of restless like that. Like, this is not my home. I don't really care, that type of feeling. So I'm apt to get in a car, bus, train, plane, whatever, and go wherever I want, whenever I want, or even walk or hitchhike. I don't know. That's my personality. So if something drives me, so to speak, in that area, you just never know. And yeah, I'm like that. Right now, today, I could say, I'm going to California. And you know what? I'd go there. I'd find a way to do it. Even if I didn't have a penny in my pocket, which I do have limited funds. So, and yeah, I can make stuff happen like that. It's not really a miracle or anything. It's just the way God helps me like that. If I have a mission to accomplish, I will. Yes, I will things. So, anyway, cheers, everybody. Happy weekend. Thank you for joining me. So, hope you're doing well. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm really not just with the men I've known personally in my life, but just in general. Um, it's probably always been that a certain amount of society weren't like chivalrous, like chivalry. Yeah, that's a hard, um, the CHs, mm, I have a problem with it. I'm not from here. I don't even speak this language. So, excuse me. Um, yeah, or at least I shouldn't be from here. I think the woman I talked to today, she's definitely not from here either. When all you ever wanted in your life was your family and things to work out, and everything in the world pummeled you, and I mean pummeled, I don't mean this fake ass whiny baby shit. I'm talking like drastically. Um, yeah. The real women out there, the faithful, honest, loving, want to be fun loving, but can't because society hates families. Yeah. I shared the history of LGBTQ whatever um on my in my community, and another one of the god that is a female. They call her goddess or whatever. Um the history of the transgender crap and parades and everything that started back in the day from this female spirit that's a wicked bitch. And she's in a physical body and she thinks she got choked before. Bitch, you don't know fucking choking. Anyway, but yeah, that's the spirit that is conducting all this chaos with all that bullshit right now. She had men uh, around her temple walking around. They would hold their knives out as they paraded around her throne to show allegiance by cutting off their wee-wees. That's how it all began, like that, with the satanic spirit in this thing. And that's who's conducting all this right now. So there you go. Yeah, I'm not too thrilled. It's affecting everybody I care about. Everybody, you know, that deserves me to care about them, you know, for the ones who don't and for the ones that are causing this. Your day's gonna come. You're gonna have to face me. I'm not gonna be nice. Hell no. I mean, like if you're in a human body and you're fake ass acting nice, I'll draw you out so quick you'll be screaming like the demon you are by the time I get done with you. And I am so good at drawing out demons and recognizing them and your energy and the spirit and the chaos you cause. So, yeah, I'm a little different than most women like that. I don't sit around and just pretend like in a group you'll hear people talking, and even if they hear filthy language or embarrassing things or something, and they'll just hang their head or laugh or some fucked up shit like that. Oh, no, no, no. You don't even want to be like that around me because I'll lay you out right there with my words. That's how I'll start, and then the challenge will come to be physical right after that because that's how I operate. I do get upset first and I contain it. But then if you open that container, it's on you, you know, and I'm not going to change. No, and I'm not going to be weak about it either. More men need to stand up and say, "What did you just say in front of these women?" You know, or "What are you doing in front of these women and children? Move along. You don't belong here with your crap. Get out of the public eye with your bullshit." really. So yeah, I am different like that. So yeah, I have pride because I deserve to have. If you have pride and it's empty, if it's not the will of God, God's proud of you. If you have the will of God and you do what He tells you in your heart, you have every right to have self pride like that. It's the pride, the empty pride of what? Sinning? Are we going to have pride in sin and promote that? Wow. Quite the world we live in, isn't it? And I'm say it like it is. If you got somebody that's an adult, and I'm not talking like under 30 or whatever, and they're still playing the game like, I could be good. I'm trying. People are technically who you are by the time you're about 30 years old. You know, you're set in your ways and you love who you are, you know. Now, if you've progressively gotten better with like things that you did that might have harmed other people and you learned your lesson, that's one thing. Because you were progressively through your life building yourself to that point. But you're not going to tell me that somebody just changes as an adult like that. No, they don't. No, they don't. They just get better at acting. That's a fact. Yeah, they're born that way, all fucked up and stupid. So you can keep trying to turn a sow's ear into a silk purse, but it doesn't work, you know? It's the way it is. I've tried, I know. I'm speaking from experience, not just with one person, but my worldview on the whole thing, you know. We need a campaign that even though the world is against what a family is, that men, even if you don't have a family, even if you don't have a woman in your life or whatever, stand up for the women and children. Start being like a pastoral type strength of humanity for the weaker ones on this planet. We need that more than ever. We really do. It's called dignity, respect, and values, human values. That needs to really come back on this planet. If it's ever really been here, I'm not sure about that. I've really never met anybody not like me who dressed like me. Yeah, I think you know the rest of the song. Anyway, but they're just not me. Anyway, um, walk, talk, and act like me. Right, whatever. Uh, yeah, men, please. You know, take on a crowd with your mouth, not in a fighting manner, but in a virtuous manner. You know, a righteous manner. Stand up. You know, really. Uh, I know if I can do it, you can. You know, do you really buy that some 50-year-old just learned how to love Christ? No. No, no, no. No. Uh-uh. And if they pretend they do and they're treating you poorly, Double no, you know. No. Would I put myself in physical danger for another person? Yeah, how many times have I? I can't count them. Yeah, because, and I do have to be careful where I go. I really do. Not out of fear, you know, just out of common sense, as far as, like, if I go here, I know I might be putting myself in a situation, you know, that type of thing, you know. How many of you have walked by a man like screaming at a woman, even if she's screaming too, and not said anything? Think I would? What would I say? Yeah, what would I say? Today it might not sound like I would typically, but it'd be like, yeah. What do you do if you're gonna yell at her in public? What do you do when you're alone with her? That would probably be something to that effect. Those might be fighting words for some that consider themselves to be men, but I don't see that a man would ever yell at a woman or even really be cruel to her in any way. To me, if a person's going to be cruel or slimy to another human being, um, they are lacking integrity. They are. It's not there like it should be. Yeah. I debated. I was sitting here, should I make a video or not? Because right now I really do. Uh, I feel like getting in my car and driving to a place where this son of a bitch is treating this woman with less than the respect that she deserves. I mean, just indecisiveness, I guess, is what I'd call it, that a lot of people use on this planet, um, in relationships, like, um, the wishy-washy attitude of non-committal relationships, when these men know that women are wanting to settle down and be more family minded. They're forcing them out of their nature to even have companionship. That's not cool. I think you know what I mean there, too. Some of you ladies have been through it. Some of you men might have been through it. It's unnatural. That video I shared, I think yesterday, from a call for an uprising, it was removed off of YouTube. And it was explaining the beginning of the um, queer movement and how that was implemented and why and who backed it and what. And I got a little bit of that in different videos today that I shared, but not like it was yesterday, from a call for an uprising. Yeah, I hope you got to listen to that. Doug went to listen to it and it was gone. He had went out to work on the lawnmower last night and was going to listen to it when he came in. I don't know if it was last night or this morning, but when he went to go listen to it, it was already gone. And it did say on there, call said, watch this like now before it gets removed. And it was removed. So, yeah. Because it was so jam-packed full of, information that would bring clarity in areas of the agendas that are going on, and the Khazarian Jews and how they're so different. They're not technically Jews at all. They wear a false title to go along with their false teachings that are satanic. And I really get a kick out of these, whether it's implementing what the Catholics are doing with their Baphomet creature and the mixture of like genders and whatever within their explanations of what's going on, is still a demonic pair and a not demonic pair, the four winds in the ether, with those capabilities that are going on in life that can either help people or hurt them. So it's really hard to see, like with the dark ones, what direction it's coming in. Like if it's the female, she can say like, take the female good energy, try to steal and pose as something that is good with that energy that they have stolen. It's like airtime, like if you're watching a broadcasting show, they stole the rights to broadcast, basically. So they take, like, sometimes the male will pose as the female energy, but they're sharing it back and forth, back and forth. As a matter of fact, they work better as a team because they work more in the flesh of people, because Satan controls the flesh. So they have a easier time manipulating men and women, because men and women aren't realizing the being bombarded by the different spirits, and it really is a spiritual thing, you know? Yes, it is. So anyway, I hope to see courting come back. The natural longing for a family unit, and where men and women actually console each other instead of leaving their options open and portraying to the world that they're just actually available when they're not, type of feeling is what we're combating. We're combating, family-minded people are combating love disguised, demons disguised as love. That's what we're combating. So, and if you're out there, say if you're a young gentleman and you're out in the dating world and you run into a woman and you think, well, she only has a couple flaws, so I'll try dating her or whatever. If she's pretty much an adult, I can probably tell you those couple flaws are just the surface of what you're going to really get down to the bottom of, you know, for real. Same with men. It's the old, if they show you who they are, believe them. Yeah. Yeah. Unless you are both single, single, um, who believes that flirting's okay? Stupid question, right? I think there are probably some people that think it's okay. There's some people that actually make it a way of life, you know? There's some people that are always on the take, always on the lookout for something better. It doesn't matter. You could be the very best of anything and everything, and it would not matter because the relationship that you had with this person was done before it even started. Once they conquer you, they are looking for the next one. In fact, they're looking for the next one before they conquer you because they got to keep their playbook open, you know? If you got somebody like that in your life, get rid of it. It's only going to cause you more heartache and pain. But you have to weigh the pros and cons. You know, make that list I was talking about, that naughty or light, nice list. Sit down. Take 10 points. What's 10 good points about this person? What's 10 bad ones? And then weigh what's more important. I'd say if there's just a couple on that bad list, that would be enough for me. One I might be able to overlook, you know, but if it gets any more than that, you know, yeah. 9 times out of 10, if they don't know how to treat you and you have a loyal heart, they already showed you who you are, who they are, you know. I never thought this world would be this mixed up. Not like that. Making sin acceptable and glorifying it. Wow. Oh, and for the record, with or without a marriage license, when two people unite, to me that is a union, a marriage before God and you. You copulated, if you have. To me, that is sacred. You know, it's not it it's just not the way it should be on this planet, you know. But in the eyes of God, it is what it is. He made male and female to go together like that, not to listen. I'm gonna say it like it is. Nobody's anus was made to put anything in, and our mouths do not belong down between anybody's legs. And they do it with the spiritual and the health ramifications of what I'm talking about. It's all real. Um, this I say it a lot, you have to pay to play, but you will find out the things that you have done will affect you either spiritually or in a health situation, and you are not going to know it until it's too late, you know. So how do we educate the little people on this planet from the dangers of not only other people's opinions out on this world, but what is an actual relationship and how to have a healthy relationship with the opposite sex. Um, there's some warriors like me out here that are not going to bow to Satan and his bitch at all. So you'll meet a man with the satanic spirit that will act more feminine, and vice versa. If a woman is not thinking like a family-minded woman, she showed you Satan within herself. Believe her. That's who she is, you know? So don't think that she's sitting there thinking, what's the next nice thing I can do to help you in your life? That's not what's going on. Do you think I think that Doug's sitting there thinking, what's the next thing he can do to help me? Not at all. Because he carries the Esther spirit, the Jezebel spirit, that other half. And I know that. I didn't know it entirely for a very long time, but as soon as I was sure, I started taking notes and adding it up, you know. Then I was able to combat it, at least for my own personal self. But it's really what's going on this planet. If they are not acting on God's behalf, our Father, our Creator, they're working on the imposter's behalf. And if they're adults doing this, that's who they are. I believe that the ability for Christ to change their hearts has already happened if that's who they are. That's my belief. And this goes with my kids too. I mean, yeah, it hurts my heart, but this is my belief, my observation with people, and what I truly feel. So, and no, they can't pretend with me anymore. I'm not even giving them the benefit of the doubt. Not anymore. I mean, yeah, I'm going to be positive as I can and in good spirits, but it's like showtime, you know. When they show you, believe them, you know. Or if you don't want to, enjoy your turmoil, you know. If you think that a gay couple cares about me and my family values, look what's going on in the world. I'm not represented as a grandma and a mom and a loving heart like that of a family person. No. Where's my parade? Where's my Grandma Pride Month? You know? I just don't see it. Hey, just, okay, so we got Christmas. Where's God's month? You know? Why don't we have a God Pride Day? You know? Where's that? Yeah. Unfortunately, nowhere. I don't think on the planet. I know we have Mother's Day and there is a Grandparents' Day, but I'm actually, and Father's Day, whatever. But it's a real thing. We have a whole month dedicated to sin. Something's wrong drastically. And I'm not going to glorify him. It's never going to happen. I'm telling you, it was all planned to destroy mankind, and it's just what they're doing. All the sins that God forbade people to do, they're doing shamelessly and could care less what anybody thinks. Um if it hurts your life or your children, they don't care. See, that's the part that makes me angry. It's the people that do not care and openly mock what God made righteous and think it's no big deal. And they can do that and destroy as many little lives as they want to destroy along the way for the Father, their Father. Satan's very own. So yeah, I'm not a big proponent of any evangelists calling anybody home anymore. I'm a proponent of, we're living in some times where people are showing us who they are, and we need to get a grip on what they're showing us, you know? A real in-depth look at the psychological mindset of these people and the damages that they're causing to what is families on this planet. Because believe it or not, there are some people that still cherish what is meant to be by God, you know? And I'll always be one of them. And you could be like me. You could be maybe in a loveless relationship or whatever and still have family values and care about other people in the world more than you do about yourself, and say something about it for other people, you know? What's it gonna hurt, you know? If that's who you are, then let everybody know. You could encourage, you might touch somebody's heart or say something to somebody that's had a deep amount of pain in that area. You might actually save their life like that. I'm talking about Jesus's children, his very own. And yes, he has his own. He never lets go of his own, you know. So are we calling demons home? Is that what we're doing now? Please come home to Jesus. You only tried to kill Jesus a few times, you know, and want God dead and everything that is holy and good and natural. That's no big deal. We'll just overlook it, you know. No, I'm not believing that there's any more lost, you know. That's the way I feel. Not I was lost, but now I'm found. I hate that. That's bullshit. I found your ass. You weren't lost. You were hiding. Yeah. That's just how I feel about what's going on in the world. And yeah, there's hope. There's hope. Um, I don't hope that I mean, okay, no, I said that wrong. I do hope, and hope is not lost. But I do believe there's entities that are who they are that will hang on to the very end because of their allegiance, and that's who they were born to. And if I hear one more time somebody telling me that, and it's somebody that I know has an evil spirit, that they're like being a little bit nice now. Get a real grip on the situation. You're being played, you know. Because you wouldn't want to know how a real woman would act in the situation that was described to me. Ugh, it wouldn't go down like that. It wouldn't be like that. So it's just like, okay, if a gay woman liked me, would I be flattered or offended? What do you think? Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I got expelled from school for 3 days in 7th grade because somebody tried to fucking pet me. That should give you a clue. And it was a knee-jerk reaction. It's like, oh, psst, I slapped her, you know? Well, not with this hand, with this one, you know? Hey, she touched me first, but that to them, it didn't matter because hers was sexual and mine was aggressive. So she touched me first and I slapped it. Still, I'm in the right. Hey, I was a kid and I had just actually had about 3 hellacious years um, of some really severe abuse. So she just really petted me on the wrong day. So, anyway. Then I was sent to a private school where I got a better education. 2 of them after that. But yeah, so I see people for who they are, and if I was in close proximity to them and was able to talk to them or speak in situations where I knew better, you'd see things in a whole nother light, you know. That's a fact. That there is no light. But you can pretend. It's always nice to pretend, isn't it? Yes. If you want to be around actors, move to California. you know. So yeah, the structure of the family is being mocked, and a lot of people are allowing it and don't realize the seriousness of it in our world. And yeah, you can say no. You stand up for God. You don't stand up for mankind and what they want. You know, it repented God to make man. He turned away from making man. That should really, really tell people, okay, so I got a chance and I blew it. Or did you? You know? Yeah, I like saying that because everybody wants to use the fake Jew thing that some woman that is a mother and a matriarch would do something to her family. No, a demonic spirit of a female body carrying Satan inside, not like parthenogenesis. It's all spiritual. And the people that are pushing this dual gender or um twin female system bullshit like that. No, it's Satan and his bitch. Get it fucking straight. And they work through each other's vessels. One's a man, one's a woman. The man listens to his bitch, and that stupid bitch listens to the dink. And they're destroying the whole world because people don't understand who's attacking them and why. It's out of jealousy. It is. It's not. Satan said, I can do it better than you. No. Satan said, I can't get my way, and I'm going to destroy everything you love. And that's what's going on. So it is never my intent to hurt any innocent person out here, but it is my intent to draw the ones out and let them know that if you were around me personally, you would not walk away the same person that you came around me being. One way or another, you'd have an effect that you'd never forget. I bet you believe that because it's true. Oh, you remember, maybe some of you remember, I've told you how the Dark Cabal changed their skin color by breeding into lighter and blonde and blue-eyed type of situation. Yeah, but they started out very dark, and that isn't anything against any one race in particular or anything. That has nothing to do with the Spirit of God that we either carry or don't carry at this time on this planet. I'm just telling you where the Dark Cabal started breeding in China and then into Europe, and what they did to disguise themselves, um, changing their names and their family crests, and there's banners that they have and everything, all the colors that indicate all those changes and where they went and who they are. I studied all that, you know, and they know I know. Mm, yeah, they do. I know somebody in particular that would just, she'd probably pee down her leg if she seen me outside, like if she was at work and I just happened to be there or something. She would totally freak out. You know, even with twins, if somebody's kind of like-minded or whatever, that's not the spirit they carry. That would not be like another woman. You could be a lot like me, but you might be satanic. You know, so you could look like me and act like me, but that would be acting. You know, or men. You know what I mean. Do you ever meet somebody and you think, geez, I really like this person? Um, I used to just not even worry about who I was gonna like. I was just gonna like everybody, you know, until the other shoe dropped. Phew. Yeah. I don't wait for the other shoe to drop. When I see one drop, I'm out of there. It's like, okay, yeah, I seen your shoe drop. Okay, I know you. Bye. Yeah. Well, that's the Christ spirit in us. If you don't recognize what um, bullshit is, I can't tell you, you know. But there's a lot of it going on in the world. It's like if you go out on a date and everything's going okay, but then they open their mouth and say something, and you're like, God help me. Is there somewhere I can move to really quick where I'm not even like this person won't even be able to find me again. Ever felt like that? Wow. I remember one time I was about, I think I was about 18, and a good friend of mine and I went to this, it was a Greek restaurant that had a disco upstairs. And they had belly dancers and everything, and it was pretty cool. And we had some really good food. Went up and had a drink, and we were gonna dance. And there was these, I'll say like I won't just pick on the lawyers all the time with your suits. It was like CEO type people or whatever, and I was dancing with this one guy, and he was pretty nice, and we had another dance, and the more he talked, I just had to get out of there. I told my friend, I go, we just have to. He was so weird. I don't know. It's just a day that stuck in my mind of what we in my house refer to as zoots. People with suits, part of the zoo. Your zoots, Zuits, and yeah. No offense. Really, I've worked in formal settings too, so I get you. I worked for the government, couple three times in 4 different capacities actually. So, um, yeah, I get having to wear, and even like a nurse's uniform or whatever. I get having to dress for the part. Yeah, but. Mm, I don't know that I don't know why that popped in my head. I think too it was because this is why, because I fast all day and I thought about that night, and then I started thinking about the food we had, and it was so good. But yeah, and I don't know what it was. I know it like I've made heroes, at home, but and my own tzatziki sauce and pita breads and whatnot, but so I've like made the whole that dish I know how to make. But this one I had, it was beef in there, but it had like carrots and I think it was cabbage and maybe onions, and I'm not sure what spices they used in there, but it was really good. I don't even know what it was called, but it was some good stuff. It's like a friend of mine, Ann Steffens, her grandmother was, I do believe she was Russian. And so some of you Russian friends, I don't know if maybe you make this dish, but it was so good. They had like a leftover stew they had made. And then she took it and put it in a pan, or maybe this was just what she did. I don't know. But so she took this stew that was sort of thick, and it's like they put sauerkraut in there. I don't know, it was like more carrots and beef and cabbage and whatever, but that was really good too. I have no clue what it was called or if it was just like this woman's own invention, but that was really good. But that was a terrible day. I'll tell you about it. I had this friend named Anne, and another friend, Tracy, and I and Ann got together, and we were forming this dance group in our high school. And so we would practice and whatever. So we had been out by where Ann lived, out by the pool, and practicing our routines and stuff. And I had called my adopted parents and asked if I could stay a little later. and there was a storm coming in. But what I did was this is the day I got stripped and beat with a belt because of what I did. But the reason I did it is because my adopted mother insulted my friend and her mother, who was a divorced woman, on that basis. And so when it was time to go home, I didn't want to leave, and my adopted mom wanted me to get in the car, and I wouldn't do it. And I walked home all the way around these lakes by where we lived, and there was tornado warnings out too, so that's the bad part. So yeah, I got beaten almost half to death, and I did run away again right after that. But it was just because she had insulted not only my friend Anne, but also my friend Tracy, who was from, and another friend of mine that's mother was living alone with her children like that. She just thought it was her thing to insult these women that were raising their children alone because she didn't even have to work, you know. So anyway, that was kind of a terrible day. So yeah. I can't remember whose idea it was to strip me down and beat me, but they both seemed to be kind of in correlation with that weird shit. So yeah, it's weird, isn't it? And I had to wait standing naked for my so-called dad to come in and beat the living shit out of me. And the leather slipped a few times and the buckle got me. That hurt very bad. I couldn't even sit down. I got kicked so hard one time it broke my tailbone. You know, that's just shit. When I was little, I thought everybody got treated like that. You know, there's worse things too, but that was just some of it. But yeah, anyway. So I've still, and the coolest thing though about my friend Anne, so then finally, um, my adoptive family ended up moving out into the country to try and seclude me more and have more control over me, but that didn't work very well for them. But the cool thing about it is I ended up in this one group home when I was waiting for my papers to come through for the state. I was divorcing my adopted parents and emancipated. And when I got into this group home, there was my friend Anne. I could not believe it. Her grandmother had died and her mom went crazy, and the state took her out of the home. But she had a pet rat then, and I used to babysit her rat for her when she was like taking a shower or whatever. But it was really cool. I ended up getting to live with my friend for a while till years and moving and separation, and I've tried to look her up and find her. I sometimes I hope some of my good friends will see me out here. People that I really loved and loved me, and when you lose a friend or have to move or whatever, and then you lose track of them, that's a bummer. So, okay, enough story time. I'm going to let you go. I just wanted you to know that it is a definite thing that there's a female part of the satanic spirit and a male part, and they work in tandem through their children of disobedience, and that's what we're dealing with out here. So it's not just one entity. When they say demons, they're a team, you know. And for centuries, people were unsuspecting because they were so in the physical world, they didn't realize that this is more a spiritual world and a spiritual war, because they have a hard time believing that they were before and they will be again. They don't see that it's like that. They just see right here. They don't see there or there. Satan's got them convinced that it's all just like that, and that's it, and that's all it'll ever be. And that's the saddest thing, you know. That's why even the word death isn't really appropriate for spiritual beings, you know. But it will be for some, I'll guarantee that. Okay, thank you for joining me. Have a really beautiful weekend, and I'll be here with you tomorrow. I love you. Thank you for joining me. Peace. Have a good night or day, wherever you're at.